It's Sunday and I need to plan out my week. Hi everybody, today is Sunday, February 17th. It is day 17 of Plan As You Go, where I show how I use my bullet journal, my Erin Condren, and my power sheets in tandem for an entire month. I need to plan out my week in my Erin Condren today. I usually do the week in the Erin Condren on Sundays and the week in my bullet journal on Mondays. That's just how I've done it for a while now. Maybe because my bullet journal tracks my tasks and things like that, and Monday is the start of my work week, whereas I think about my life as a whole. I've never really thought about that. I've never really thought about why. So that's why, baby. I don't know. Anyway, I am excited to say that we decluttered our closet yesterday. Yeah! So I'm going to check it off that we did it. I also cooked with cauliflower last night, and I'll be doing it again this week, but I'm just gonna check it off anyway. Moving forward, looking at this for the week, not just today, but for the week. My kids are going back to their dad's on Tuesday, so I'm only gonna have about 4 days where they're at school and they're not coming back here, so I need to think what needs to happen. This does need to happen. It's one of those things that just keeps getting moved. I should finish this, the office organizing, and finish this. We need to do this, like today. Hopefully I'll be able to get some progress. I mean, we're halfway through the month. Today's the 17th, a little bit more than halfway through the month, and I've gotten a lot of it done, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. But those will be my focuses. Getting more of this tax prep done would be nice too, but I'm not gonna put that on the top of my list because that's something I think I'm gonna I could easily lose myself in, and I need to get these days off scheduled before I do anything like that. Now, looking at my Erin Condren, I did not stay at church today. I went and led the discussion I was going to lead, but then I did not stay for the rest of it, which kind of bummed me out. I have a friend who's giving a sermon today, but we had an earthquake last night. It was not a huge earthquake. It was 3.8, and the epicenter was a few miles north of us. But it woke us up at 2 in the morning, and my cat, who's on the bed, freaked out and ran across my kidney and my fistula, and I am in a lot of pain right now. I did not take a painkiller. I don't like to take them during the day, especially when I have this to do, but I probably will this afternoon. So I just did not feel up to sitting at church for another hour and a half, plus meetings. So I went and did the thing I was obligated to do, and I came home. My husband is at band practice, and then the only other thing we've got going on is the kids maybe doing their chores today and getting laundry done, shit like that. They don't have school tomorrow, so it's kind of a slower paced Sunday. So we're gonna have to plan out this week. But before I do that, I wanna go into my to-do list for 2 reasons. 1, I wanna get today's list put in and before I start thinking about the week ahead. And 2, I want to take a look at what I didn't get done this week so that when I start planning my week out, I have kind of an idea of what I'm looking at. So I'd managed to go to bed without a painkiller, and then the earthquake and hurt. I mean, I'm not mad at Loki for squishing my arm or my body. Poor cat was terrified of the earthquake last night. I mean, me too. I actually woke up and was super stressed out. I didn't go back to sleep for an hour and a half. A, because my arm hurt, and B, because I was terrified that we were gonna have another one. For those of you who don't know, the quake in Napa that hit in 2014 that fucked our town up, it happened at 3 in the morning in the dark. And so being woken up at 2 in the morning with an earthquake was really it reminded me of that. And so it scared the shit out of me, to be perfectly honest. I can check off declutter my closet though. Woohoo, that is done. Today's doodle is watermelon. So I want to add that I did look at your guys' comments yesterday about my closet situation, and I love a lot of the advice you gave. I'm going to look into putting some of the kitty litter in the closet to help with some of the absorption of the moisture. We have a dehumidifier, but it is gigantic, and up until yesterday we didn't have room to even put it near the closet. Getting the dresser out of there and opening up the bottom will allow us to run the dehumidifier. Our plan in the long run is to insulate those walls and then put in a wire closet system, but for now the temporary stuff we've got in there opens up the circulation and will give us an idea of what it is we might want when we're ready to invest in more. So that's what we've been working on. I've got some questions from you guys for today's video, and the first one I'm going to answer quickly. She's got 2 questions. Audrey said, what are the markers and pens you used in your video today? I've been using the same ones. The regular black pen I'm using is a Pilot fine liner. I use Erin Condren dual tip markers and Tombow twin tones in my power sheets, and I was actually using a purple Erin Condren dual tip in my Erin Condren this week because of the stamp week. And then the brush pens I use are the Tombow dual tip markers, And then finally, for doing the extra thick lines on my doodles, lately I've been using a Spectrum Noir art liner in 08. The second question Audrey had was, are your stickers designs still at Michael's? If so, what's the company that makes them? The company is Krissyanne Designs. They are still there, and there will be allegedly a new line coming out, but they're going to be a permanent line. It's not seasonal. I'm going to do my lettering really quick. The lettering prompt for today is Wicked Game. I got a lot of this list done, but I did not get all of it done. And the top two ones, we might be able to get this one in today because Katie doesn't have rehearsal. So when Jessie gets home from band practice, that might happen. Both of those could happen today, allegedly. That could be nice. Did I come back in here and even work in my bullet journal yesterday? I don't often. That happened, that did not happen, that did happen, that did not, and that did not, but that did happen. I'm gonna make today's to-do list really quickly, and then we will get to planning my Erin Condren for the week. All right, so here is today's list. I already put my discussion that I did today on here because I wanted to check it off. I do that sometimes. I put things on that I've already done. But we basically have some cleaning to do. My kids have their chores. I need to do some laundry. They also need to do some laundry. Actually, I think we all have laundry to do. My husband has his band, my husband has his band practice, and then filming this video, plus getting my podcast scheduled because I did it, I just haven't scheduled it yet. So that's my to-do list for today. So now that that is done, we're gonna go over to the Erin Condren and get it planned out for this next week. So I had forgotten that I had ordered this kit from Erin Condren with the hearts and everything else. I had forgotten that I had ordered it, and it's Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day was this week, but I'm just gonna use it now. And I grabbed some of these washi tapes from my collection. I've just had them. I don't even know where I got any of them. I've just had them for years. This is my list for the week. I had my list for the week. Where did it go? Got my list for the week. We're gonna get started with this, I think. Now, I had a conversation with one of my patrons the other day about how these Erin Condren stickers don't stick down. Like, I've noticed they curl. They're kind of like their Post-its. Part of me is like, why do I order them if they curl up? And it annoys me, because it does. The funny thing is, I love the patterns that they have, and I love the ability to choose the colors you want. So then I order them like this, and then I use them, and I get frustrated because they're peeling up. So like, I'm in this weird love-hate relationship with them. Now, normally I take these strips and I cut them in half to run across the top, but if I do that here, it's gonna cut the hearts in half, and that would kind of kill the look for me. So instead, I think what I'm gonna do is run these black hearts across the top and maybe grab another pink washi tape, actually. Now I'm gonna run this pink and then put the black hearts on top of it, I think. And I'm gonna cover up the 2019 here just to be able to run a little bit more with white out. And you guys, I got some newer subscribers and people who have shown up, which I am excited to have you here. You may not know what this thing is. This is an Artist Loft palette knife. It is meant to use as a palette knife for paint. I have used it for years now to cut my washi tape because I find it easier to control than like a credit card. I use a credit card like I just showed you with this other wider one when it's not wide enough. But when it is wide enough to cut washi tape, basically this size right here that I'm putting down, or skinnier, I would prefer to use this because I had tendonitis, and this thing is just easier for me to grip without it hurting my hand. So I'm gonna put the black hearts down next. Holly asked me how old my kid Katie is, and does she have a reprieve to look forward to, or will she be a motherhood hell until high school is over, based on, you know, talking about things parenting middle schoolers and high schoolers. Katie is 15, RJ will be 13 next month. I have found things just get more complicated. The funny thing is that, like, as much as the complicated problems can suck, I absolutely love being able to have conversations with my kids about stuff that you can't really have with them when they're 6 or 7. So it's like extreme awesomeness and extreme complicated annoyingness kind of coming together. I don't know, I'm not out of high school yet though. So right now we're still in the land of a lot of the time. So That's my answer to that question. So our custody is weird this week. So I am going to run some of this. I'm going to washi tape the boxes with this pink washi tape, and then I'm going to run some of these black stickers down the side to mark custody, because normally our custody is just Friday on, Friday off, so I don't usually put it in here. But because our custody is really weird this week for some various reasons, I think I will put it in here just to remind myself. But first I will divide these boxes up for my blood pressure and the weather. And while I'm doing that, I have a question from Tiger Kitty Co, who said, I'm fairly new to your channel. I don't know why I wasn't here earlier, and you seem so very open. Are there any topics you don't or won't talk about? I admire your openness and think it's wonderful to listen to your reality. Thank you. I appreciate that. When it comes to topics I won't talk about, this is an interesting question. There are things I don't talk about, as an example, having to do with my kids. I may be dealing with something having to do with one of my kids, but I won't necessarily give the details of it because it's not my story to tell. That's the boundary for me, is where I feel like I'm encroaching on somebody else's story. And I will try and not do that. That's why I talk about things with my husband and I, but there are other things that involve us that I don't talk about, not because I'm scared to talk about anything, but because they're his story, not mine. And, you know, I can share my perspective on things, but then there's just certain things that I keep private for us because they don't belong to me, if that makes sense. When it comes to me and my own life and my own feelings, I am pretty much an open book. And that is not because I'm like, oh, I like to let it all hang out there, except that kind of is it. I never used to be great at opening up to people about my feelings. It was always hard for me. And YouTube has actually helped me get better at it, maybe because I feel like I'm talking, you know, even though I know I'm talking to you guys and I think about that when I'm talking to you guys, at the same time, I'm sitting here talking to myself. And so maybe it's a little easier because I don't have to look you in the face. You know what I mean? And I go a little deep, like I talk about my feelings and stuff here, and then I go even deeper on my podcast. And I'm not distracted by putting stickers down or something, and I can be a little bit more open. I'm not trying to, like, you know, just let all my shit hang out all the time. It's more like, I feel like you know, it's funny that like these planner videos where we're putting down stickers and talking about our weeks. I think sometimes when you see Plan With Me's where people are just talking about the decorations or whatever, and it's kept kind of on that level, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, the reason I talk so much about it, especially during Plan As You Go, I would argue during Plan As You Go is when I get the most conversational. And I think it's because it's every day. So it's like a continuing story. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like telling you a story today, and then tomorrow I'll be updating you on that story. As an example, the trumpet thing, or my bad week last week, or whatever the case may be, because you're getting it in real time, as opposed to like doing a weekly bullet journal setup and I'm updating you on my week, but it's been a week. Loki, stop scratching my carpet. Plan As You Go offers me the opportunity to be really conversational and open because I'm filming every day and it's in real time. My philosophy is kind of that, like, as I'm doing these stickers, talking about how I'm trying to be productive or I'm not productive on a given day, or how I use stickers or why I use stickers, or however the case may be. What I'm really giving you is open insight into my life. My planners are used to manage my life, not just my schedule, but my tasks, the things I'm dealing with, the things I'm thinking about, the things I'm struggling with. All of those things are in my life documented or planned or, you know, thought about in the context of my planners. And so when you see my planner, you're seeing into my head. I don't just, and maybe that's why I don't resonate with Plan With Me's where they just do the decorations but they don't talk about their life, which I understand. It is the prerogative of the creator. It is their choice to do it that way. I just don't usually watch those videos because for me, I can look at Instagram to see how people put stickers down, but I want to know why. And for me, when you see a Plan With Me of mine, you understand at least somewhat how I'm thinking about my life, and that is important to me. And so maybe that's why I am so open, because I'm showing you how I go about my life as it's happening. So I'm not sure if that answers your question or not. I got a couple of these Krissyanne Designs stickers to say what these are, what this is. Loki, are you tripping balls? I use a Le Pen permanent on the Krissyanne Design stickers. All right, so now my custody is marked and I'm gonna divide the center boxes up here for my blood pressure. And now that that's in, I'm gonna put in my weather and my meal planning for Monday through Thursday. I'm gonna start laying some stickers down. I'm gonna put this day off right here as both my husband and my kids have the day off of school and work. I'm gonna start putting in all of my appointments for the week because that's what I usually do. And while I'm doing that, I have one more question to answer. It's from Denise Hogan, who said, how do I plan list larger projects like painting the living room, cleaning the garage, things you're not doing now but want to in the near future, or things that take multiple days? If it's a big project with a lot of moving parts, I may just take a page in my bullet journal and list all of the different parts and then just assign those to different days. If it's a project like cleaning my closet, often I'll just put declutter closet or whatever on each day and maybe do part of it, which is probably not the most efficient way to plan things out. But often it's just taking a list in my bullet journal, breaking it down, and then assigning those to each day when I'm gonna do it, including shopping for whatever I need, picking the days, talking to the people. And I usually do this with my husband if it's a project around the house that he's helping me with, because we are both involved in doing all of the things and finding the people to help us. That's my usual way of doing it. And a lot of the times I function kind of like a brain dump, where I just blob everything in my head about it onto paper and then start assigning days and times to do certain things. In theory, when I'm at my best self, that's how I do it. All right, so what do we have on Monday? I have a patron thing. Katie has rehearsal, and there's a deadline for church that day. So I'm gonna put the deadline and the patron thing right here, and then put Katie rehearsal over here, because yeah, it's another all-day rehearsal. It's the last all-day rehearsal before the show starts this coming up weekend. Actually, before I do that though, I like on the weeks I use the Erin Condren to put these task lists down on day where there's a shit ton to do. I'm not gonna, sometimes I alternate them. This time what I'm actually gonna do is put them on the 4 days of school this week that my kids are at their dad's house. Because that way I know those days I have until when I get up in the morning, until Jesse gets home from work at 6:30 or 7 to get as much stuff done as possible. And so those are the days where having a list is more helpful necessarily than blocking. So I'm gonna put those down first and then we'll get into this. Aesthetically, I don't think I like this as much as alternating every day, but no matter how much aesthetically I like something, if it's not gonna work for me, then I'm not gonna do it. My neighbor just started mowing his lawn, so I apologize for the noise in the background. So I have this for my patron thing, this for my deadline at church. Actually, I'll reverse that, and then this is for Katie's rehearsal. And I'm gonna leave it at that for now. I'm not really sure what all I'm gonna be getting done tomorrow, so I'd rather just leave it alone and not try and plan too much for it. On Tuesday, the kids go back to their dad's. I have an appointment with my therapist. Katie has rehearsal, and I have a patron live. As for my list, I'm gonna have a nice chunk of work in the middle of the day between my appointment in the morning and my patron live at 4. So I'll be able to get a lot of work done that day. So I'm gonna leave this list open for that, but I'm gonna just put my appointments here along the top. On Wednesday, Katie has rehearsal too, but I'm not driving Katie to rehearsal, so I don't know if I need to put Katie's rehearsals on these days. I feel like I should put in Katie's shows, but not Katie's. I might just leave those off of there because I'm not going to be the one transporting Katie. So Wednesday, the only timed thing I have is a webinar for something for my church on Wednesday evening, and the rest of it is going to be a work day. And I think because Tuesday is going to function as my Monday, because I don't have anything going on during the day, I think Wednesday is going to be a filming day. I'm not going to list what those videos are, but that's going to be 3 videos I'm going to work on filming that day. And the reason I'm making that so big is because I'm going to totally forget that it's happening unless I have it like right in my face. Thursday, RJ has a concert that night. Katie has the first preview showing of the show, and I'm posting a patron thing. So I put the little music munchkin down and put both of those evening activities on here, and I'm gonna leave Thursday blank. You notice I'm leaving a lot of this week blank. It's because it's a 4-day week since my family's gonna be home this day, and I'm not gonna really know what exactly I need to be doing until I get to Monday or Tuesday and start really thinking about it. So I'm trying to leave a lot of this space open. But I also know that Wednesday will be likely the best day for me to film because it's the most open day. There's not as much happening that day. This day, by the time I get to the evening, I'm gonna be stressed out. Friday, I have a patron hangout and Katie has a show. I think we're gonna try and go on Saturday, but I don't know that yet. We're gonna be talking to friends who may go with us. So I'm not sure when we're going yet. We'll figure that out. But I'm gonna use this to put in my patron hangout. And I will need to meal plan on Thursday, actually. I should put that on there. I'll meal plan on Thursday and then shop on Friday, I think will be my best bet. This happens, I think out loud while I'm planning and then shit happens. I'm gonna use these Krissyanne Designs stickers to put in Katie's shows this week. There's 1 show on Friday and 2 shows on Saturday, 2 shows on Sunday, so I need to put something bigger down for those 2 days. Can I even read that? I don't think I have a white that's gonna work on this. Huh. Well, whatever. Whoops, there is not 2 shows on Saturday, so I'm gonna see if we can make this work. I'm gonna remove that black one because I can't read it. Ah, it's ripping. No, I'm killing my thing. This whole situation did not work the way I envisioned it. Damn it, now I am ripping my planner a whole bunch. Whatever. I'm gonna put another sticker there, so it's not gonna matter. Don't worry about me. I'm figuring my life out. Slowly but surely, I'm figuring my life out. Don't call me Shirley. I don't know what time Katie's call time is gonna be for those though. We'll figure that out when we get there. Anyway, with all that being solved, let's go back to Saturday. The only other thing I have on Saturday so far is getting my sheets washed, which is my usual Saturday routine, and we'll probably need to get some chores done that day too. And so that's Saturday, and then Sunday I have some church shit going on. I got a lot of church shit going on. The kids have OWL. I am the Sunday service assistant that day. I have a meeting after the service for the nominating committee. So I'm layering some Krissyanne Designs right here to be like my little church situation. And then I think that's basically all I've got on Sunday. So now that I've gotten the basics of this weekend, the last thing I want to do is take a look at my power sheets and see if I can assign any of these things to days based on just what I'm looking at here. Meal planning I've already got assigned. Cooking with cauliflower is already assigned. Family planning time would probably have to happen on Saturday. So I'm going to put something in there to make it happen because I'm already struggling to make it happen at all. And I think that's all I'm going to put on here for right now. I think this is going to be my week until tomorrow when I start really thinking about it as a whole. Going back to Denise's question, I would love to hear from you in the comments. How do you plan or list out larger projects like cleaning the living room, painting the living room, cleaning the garage, stuff like that? How do you plan them out? Do you make a list in a bullet journal? Do you use digital planning software like Trello? Actually, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe I should think about doing that. My husband, or Asana, because that's what he uses for work. Maybe if I break down projects in Asana, we might actually get more done. Now I'm having a brain inspire. Anyway, give me some ideas in the comments of how you list and plan out bigger projects that you're doing in the future. I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in tomorrow's Plan As You Go video.